What if every ending in your life is not a loss, but a cosmic invitation to begin again? Buddhism teaches us that clinging creates suffering, because we try to freeze what is destined to flow. Astrology reminds us that Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, always asks us to release so we can be renewed. Tonight, on Dharma Veins, we step into the forgotten wisdom of surrender, the dance of endings and beginnings. History itself whispers the same truth. When Rome fell, it seemed like the end of civilization. Yet out of its ashes came the Renaissance, a rebirth of art, science, and human spirit that shaped the modern world. Endings, as painful as they seem, clear the ground for revolutions of the soul. In America, the Great Depression shattered lives, yet it also gave rise to resilience, reforms, and a collective vision that carried a generation forward. What looked like ruin was really the soil for renewal. Astrology echoes this cycle. During an eclipse, the sun disappears, and darkness reigns, yet that darkness is temporary. A gateway. The return of light feels even more profound because it was hidden. In the same way, Pluto strips away what no longer serves us, not to punish, but to prepare. Every ending is Pluto's way of saying, you are ready for a new chapter. Buddhist parables tell us the same in simpler language. A monk once said, you don't grieve when the candle burns down, because it has done its work of bringing light. Now the darkness makes way for stars. The empty cup, the fallen leaf, the closed lotus, they are not symbols of death but of readiness, of what comes next. Let's practice together. Inhale deeply and whisper within, I accept endings. Exhale slowly and whisper, I welcome beginnings. Feel the release in your body, the softening of your chest. This is how surrender feels, less like defeat, more like freedom. So what if the closed lotus in front of you is not a symbol of loss, but a promise? What if the chapter that ended is not punishment, but preparation? The universe doesn't erase, it transforms. And when you stop resisting, when you trust the cosmic rhythm, you begin to see that every ending is only the beginning of something far greater. Endings are not failures. In Buddhism, we're taught that impermanence, anicca, is not a curse, it's the natural rhythm of life. Everything that rises will fall, not as punishment, but as preparation for what's next. Endings are never failures, they're doorways in disguise. Astrology mirrors this truth. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is often feared. Its transits bring endings, breakdowns, even eclipses of identity. But Pluto doesn't destroy without purpose. It clears the soil, burns away what no longer serves, and makes space for rebirth. Just as the moon eclipses the sun only to let the light return brighter. Life uses endings to prepare you for a new cycle of becoming. There's an old Chinese parable that captures this beautifully. A farmer's horse ran away, and his neighbors pitied him, such bad luck. But days later, the horse returned with a wild herd. Suddenly, what looked like loss was abundance. When the farmer's son later broke his leg taming one of the new horses, the neighbors again pitied him. Yet when war broke out, the injured son was spared from being drafted. Each ending, each misfortune, carried within it the seed of a hidden blessing. The story reminds us, we don't see the full picture until time unfolds it. Buddhist monks often use simple metaphors. A candle burning out isn't just an ending, it creates darkness where stars can be seen. A flower dropping its petals isn't failure, it's the signal that fruit is on its way. Here's a micro practice to embody this teaching. Sit comfortably. Take a slow, deep inhale and whisper silently, I accept endings. Hold it for a moment. Then exhale gently, I welcome beginnings. Repeat this 3 times. As you breathe, imagine yourself letting go of one chapter that has closed, and opening your palms to receive what the universe is quietly arranging for you. Astrologers say eclipses are portals. They shut one door and open another, often in ways we could never plan. When you learn to see endings as sacred shifts, not failures, you align yourself with both Buddhist wisdom and the cosmic dance of renewal. Because in truth, endings don't diminish you, they reshape you, making you ready for what's next. Transformation needs release. In Buddhism, the truth of impermanence reminds us that all things are in motion. Nothing stays the same, and yet we cling as if we could stop the river from flowing. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from holding on, Because transformation is impossible without release. Astrology illustrates this vividly. Think of a comet streaking across the night sky. For a brief moment it dazzles us. Then it disappears, leaving behind only a luminous trail. Its brilliance exists because it burns away. In the same way, parts of us must dissolve so that new light can emerge. The myth of the phoenix captures this perfectly. The bird is consumed by its own flames. And only through fire does it rise again, renewed and radiant. To the outside eye, the fire looks like destruction. But to the phoenix, it is rebirth. How often do we mistake our own fires, loss, heartbreak, endings, as ruin, when in truth they are the very fuel of transformation? Buddhist monks often say, "You cannot pour new tea into a cup that is already full." The old must be emptied for the fresh to be received. Release is not giving up, it's making space. Here's a practice. Imagine you are holding something heavy in your hands, a stone, a burden, a fear. Feel the strain of clinging to it. Then, in your mind's eye, let it drop to the ground. Hear the sound it makes. Feel the relief in your body as you release it. Notice the lightness, the freedom. That is what transformation feels like, the weight gone, the space made. Even folk wisdom echoes this truth. Farmers burn the stubble after harvest, not to destroy the field, but to prepare the soil for new growth. The destruction is the condition for renewal. Astrologers remind us, Pluto's transits can feel like fire, like endings we resist. But Pluto's lesson is the same as the phoenix, without release. There is no rebirth. Without endings, there is no new season. Transformation is not found in clutching tighter. It is born in the courage to release. Emptiness creates space. Buddhism teaches that emptiness is not nothingness. Sunyata, the void, is fertile, alive, and full of possibility. A seed must fall into the empty soil before it can sprout. A cup must be empty before it can be filled. What we fear as emptiness is often the very condition that allows something new to be born. Astrology gives us a beautiful mirror of this truth. During the new moon, the sky is dark. No light, no shining face of the moon to guide us. Many people dread this darkness. But in astrology, the new moon is the moment of planting intentions. The dark is not absence, it is a womb. It holds the silent promise of the cycle to come. There is a Zen parable where a professor visited a monk. Eager to learn, the monk poured tea until the cup overflowed. And the professor protested. The monk said, "This is your mind, already full of opinions. How can I teach you unless you make space?" The empty cup is not useless. It is essential. Even folk traditions echo this wisdom. After harvest, farmers let their fields lie fallow, empty, so the earth can restore itself. Without that pause, the soil would be depleted. Emptiness is the pause that makes future abundance possible. Here's a micro practice. Place your hand gently on your belly. Take a slow, deep breath in, then release it fully. Feel the hollow space as your lungs empty. That emptiness is not dead, it is alive, waiting for the next inhale. Life itself is a rhythm of filling and releasing. The pause between is where clarity enters. Astrologers say that those who align with the new moon find it to be the most powerful time for manifestation. Not when the sky is loud with light, but when it is silent, receptive, and unseen. The unseen is where potential hides. So when life feels empty, after loss, after endings, after silence, remember that emptiness is not the end. It is the fertile space where something unseen is already taking shape. The flow of life knows the way. The Buddha once compared the mind to a river. When the waters are still, they reflect everything clearly. When they're forced or dammed, turbulence follows. Life is the same. When we stop resisting, when we flow with conditions instead of fighting them, peace returns. Astrology reflects this truth in the planet Neptune, the ruler of oceans, dreams, and invisible currents. Neptune teaches us that not everything can be controlled or explained. Some forces are like tides, unseen, yet powerful enough to carry us farther than our effort ever could. Fighting Neptune's waters only leaves us exhausted. Trusting the flow lets us move with grace. Lao Tzu, the sage of the Tao, said, "Nothing in the world is as soft and weak as water. Yet nothing can overcome it. Water bends, yields, and adapts, but in the end it wears down mountains and carves valleys. Its strength is in its softness." The lesson is timeless. What yields, endures. Even folk wisdom carries this message. Fishermen know you cannot command the river, you can only learn its rhythm. A boat that tries to go against the current capsizes, but one that surrenders to the flow reaches the sea. Here's a practice. Close your eyes and imagine yourself lying gently on a river. Feel the water carrying you. You don't need to paddle or control the direction. Just trust the current. Notice how your body relaxes when you release resistance. That is the flow of life carrying you. Buddhism calls this dependent origination. Things arise not by our force, but by conditions aligning. Neptune mirrors this. The unseen currents guide us even when we cannot map them. So when life feels overwhelming, remember, you are not meant to fight every wave. You are meant to trust the river. The flow of life already knows the way. Patience aligns with timing. In Buddhism, patience is not passivity, it is strength. The Buddha himself practiced years of extreme asceticism, pushing his body to its limits. But only when he released that extremity and chose the middle way did enlightenment dawn. It wasn't force, it was timing, waiting for conditions to align. Astrology gives us Saturn, the planet of time and discipline. Saturn teaches through delays and lessons that seem endless. When Saturn appears in your chart, you cannot rush the harvest. But what it gives lasts. It's like the oak tree, slow to grow, but unshakable once rooted. Saturn whispers, what's built with patience will not crumble. Cultural wisdom tells the same story. In Japan, entire communities anticipate the blooming of cherry blossoms. No one can command the flowers to open early. They wait, they celebrate the season, and the patience itself becomes part of the beauty. The bloom is short-lived, but it feels eternal in its perfect timing. Folk wisdom reminds us of the same truth. A watched pot never boils. The more you stare, the longer it seems, but step back, trust, and suddenly the water bubbles. Life unfolds in its rhythm, not ours. Here's a practice. Close your eyes and recall a moment in your life when waiting brought something better than you expected. Maybe a job you didn't get made space for one that fit your soul. Maybe a heartbreak delayed the true relationship that finally honored your heart. As you remember, whisper silently, patience is my strength. Timing is my ally. Astrologers say Saturn delays, but never denies. Its gifts are late, but enduring. And in Buddhism, the lotus blooms not because we pry open its petals, but because the sun rises at the right moment. So patience is not weakness. It is aligning yourself with divine timing, the wisdom that knows every flower, every season, every soul blooms when it's ready. Miracles are hidden in surrender. In Buddhism, clinging is the root of suffering. The harder we try to control every detail, the tighter our grip becomes, and the less space life has to surprise us. The Buddha taught that letting go of attachment is not loss, but liberation. Surrender does not weaken you. It creates the space where miracles can enter. Astrology reflects this wisdom through Jupiter, the planet of expansion and blessings. Jupiter doesn't reward those who clutch in fear. Its gifts flow when the heart is open, when we believe life can be bigger than our plans. People often call Jupiter the planet of luck. But luck isn't random, it's alignment. It comes when you release control and allow space for the unexpected. There's a simple story that captures this truth. A child once caught a butterfly and held it tightly, afraid it would fly away. In his hand, the butterfly struggled and grew weak. Finally, he let it go. To his surprise, the butterfly didn't disappear forever. It circled back and gently landed on his shoulder. Sometimes, when we release what we fear losing, it returns in a form more beautiful than before. Folk wisdom speaks the same. A farmer cannot force rain by pulling at the clouds. But when he tills the soil, prepares the field, and then steps back in trust, the rain eventually comes. Effort prepares, surrender invites. Here's a practice for this. Write down one worry that has been weighing on you. Fold the paper, hold it in your hand and take 3 deep breaths. On each exhale, imagine yourself releasing the burden into the universe. Then place the paper aside. Notice how your body feels when you allow yourself to let go. That sensation of relief is the doorway to miracles. Astrologers remind us that Jupiter transits often bring gifts we couldn't have planned, unexpected opportunities. Chance meetings, doors opening at the right time. But those blessings rarely arrive when we're clinging. They show up when we've created room to receive. So surrender is not defeat. It is a sacred invitation. When you let go of the need to control, you make space for the universe to exceed your imagination. And it is in that open space where life's most unexpected miracles quietly appear. When you stop gripping life so tightly, you don't lose, you make space. Space for love, for timing, for miracles. This is the cosmic dance of letting go. Buddhism teaches that release is freedom. Astrology mirrors it through Saturn's patience, Jupiter's blessings, Pluto's rebirth. History confirms it. Humanity rises not by clinging to the old, but by surrendering to transformation. Take one last breath with me. Inhale and whisper, I release control. Exhale and whisper, I trust the flow. Feel the calm within. That calmness isn't the end of action, it is the beginning of wisdom. Sparkles, if this message touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs peace, and subscribe to our channel Dharma Veins. Here, we bring together Buddhism, astrology, meditation, and timeless human stories, a space where endings become beginnings, and wisdom is reborn in every breath. May you carry this calm into your life. May you find peace in the pauses, and courage in the letting go.